Hey everybody, welcome to Wick Live, our weekly show. We talk about all things Game of Thrones, Song, Ice and Fire. I am your host, Dan Selcke, and joining me today is culturist editor Cheryl Wassenaar.
Hi everyone.
Kayla Knierim, our regular co-host, is out sick. Get better soon, Kayla, if you're watching this, go for a message. And then Josh Hill, who joins us for a Song of Jan and Josh, is on vacation. So we're bringing in Cheryl. It's going to be really exciting.
Yes, I'm very excited to be here.
And again, you went at culturist.com, which is a great site all about pop culture from a lady's perspective?
From a lady's perspective is a good way to put it. Yeah, definitely. We are definitely focused on going deep into pop culture, talking about how representation works, but also just coming up with theories about Game of Thrones, oddly enough.
Of course.
So I am totally qualified to be here.
Good. Thought we would start, Cheryl. Just like how, because people don't know you on here, our rapid fan base, how'd you come across Game of Thrones?
So
how long have you been watching?
So I watched season 1 on DVD, and then from season 2 onward, I have been watching live, basically.
Sure.
I've read the books. Been a while, but I've read them. And since then, I've been deep in Game of Thrones, covering it for Culturist and covering it originally for Fansided.com. So for the past couple of seasons, I've been really deep into analyzing the show. So I've been a big fan. I've gotten my mother into it. She's also a huge fan now. I had my wisdom teeth pulled out a couple years ago. And I showed my mother the first episode of Game of Thrones right after the wisdom teeth. So it seemed like a really good idea, but I didn't warn her about the content. So after the first episode, she kind of looks at me and I'm like, isn't it so good? And she's like, oh yeah, it's great. And then she's like, I would have liked a warning about what's in there, because, Bran gets pushed out of the window and everything.
Child.
Yeah. And Jaime and Cersei right before that. And, but now she's a huge fan of the show too, so all works out in the end, right?
I love that though. I love that Game of Thrones seems to cut across, generational peoples.
It does.
Cut across races, genders. Like, a lot of folk like it. I think maybe deep down we all just have a connection to murder and ambition. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I feel like
murder and ambition is kind of the starting point, especially since you can live kind of vicariously, if you
a little bit,
and being able to kind of see all these sumptuous costumes and see women grab power and take it, especially in the recent seasons. Fun, It's also really great. So
there's something about, you can like the action scenes, you can like the rich characters, you can like the costumes, something there for everyone if you look.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're here, Cheryl.
I'm glad to be here, Dan.
Let's start the proper show proper with, if you guys didn't know, there is a new Game of Thrones beer out from Brewery Gang. This is the Winter is Here Double White Ale. By the way, hi Julie, hi Diana, good to have you with us. I thought we would sample it and give a little taste test, see if it's worth your while.
Let's do it.
Let's see if I can manage this.
It's very appropriate since it's very chilly here today.
It's pretty warm in here, I think. Tell me when. Well,
outside. That's a good start.
I don't know. We don't have to finish anything, but
What?
I'm not gonna stop you if you want to go whole hog into it.
I was about to say, if it's good.
Exactly.
So.
If you're driving, maybe not. And we invite you to drink along with us if you're at home. All right. Vala Morgulis.
Valador Hydrus. Oh.
What do you think?
That's actually pretty good. It reminds me of a lot of Belgian whites that I've had before.
So, are you like a beer person, by the way?
I am a mild to moderate beer person.
Okay.
I don't make claims to be a beer person.
Gotcha, me neither.
But I do enjoy a good Belgian white.
I like it too. I am not a beer person.
It's okay, we can still be friends.
All I can say is it tastes good and it's smooth.
It is very smooth.
Although, if I had to be specific, I'd say that it has aromas of banana, clove, and pronounced peppery fenouil lead, and the flavor is slightly sweet malt, subtly balanced by hints of sea salt. You get that?
I'm getting the peppery aftertaste, that little warm kick at the end that was also promised. I have no idea about the banana.
Right, I just knew that. That's from the press release, by the way, obviously. I don't have a palate good enough to detect that.
Yeah.
But I am enjoying it.
I am enjoying it too.
So the Winter is Here Ale from Brewery Gang is on store shelves everywhere now. If you have a chance, why not? It's pretty good. It's got the Night King on the cover, glowering at you, threatening you with extinction of the human race.
Not sure if this is enough to send him away, but delicious to drink right before he freezes you or turns you into a zombie.
No, it's just to give in. Like, it's going to happen anyway. Might as well go out smiling.
Exactly. Enjoy a good drink right before you go.
And Julie, thank you, Julie. Says she likes my haircut. I am happy about that. I was nervous about it. It's pretty short.
It looks good on you, though.
But winter is coming. So you got to beard it up and just be ready with beer and a haircut. I like it, though. This is a good beer.
It is a good beer.
I give it a thumbs up. I give it 8 out of 10 stars, 4 out of 5 thumbs up.
4 out of 5 seems reasonable. Maybe
All
a
right.
little higher because, like I said, I'm biased. I like a good Belgian white.
All right, now let's get into the meat of the show. We're going to talk about what's happening on the set of Game of Thrones Season 8. There is some interesting stuff going on.
I've seen.
Okay, so let's discuss a little bit.
Let's
see
do it.
what we can pull out. I will say this, though, Cheryl. They're being better about it this year. I feel like we're not getting as many spoilers or as many set photos or anything.
No, we definitely aren't. And I've noticed that there haven't been as many script leaks. I remember last year there was that massive script leak on Reddit where it wasn't the entire, like, it wasn't the actual script, but it was basically like every plot point.
They'd stolen the outline. Was the word on the street. I mean, there have been some little flashes of here's some ways it could go. It's hard to tell what is true, and nothing has gained the traction that thing gained.
Exactly. And
which makes me think that nothing is as official.
Right. I think it's still a little bit up in the air. They're being so much more secure this season. Like, nobody's getting scripts. Everyone's getting the earpieces.
Well, that might be apocryphal.
That might be a little apocryphal. That's true.
All I'm saying is we seem to be getting less, like, photos from the area. We seem to be getting less word.
We're seeing less selfies with stars.
Oh, yeah, what they've said is, that, I mean, we have gotten some, because there's just no stopping it.
No, there really isn't. But there seem to be fewer.
Yeah.
And it's harder to play kind of, the where in the world is X star right now.
And from what I hear is that the cast members have been, when people ask for selfies, they've been saying, I'm sorry, I can't. I've been told by HBO not to. So I'm sorry.
Right.
So there are still like photos of them just like in the corners of photos, like with wearing like hoodies. Tell it's them, but they're going the extra mile this year.
They really are. I mean, I can't blame them. Everyone wants to know what's going on this season. And, even without that information, excuse me, really is good beer.
It is. It's very smooth. It's getting smoother as you drink it.
It does.
Julie thinks wine is better. I agree, Julie, but I'll have a beer every once in a while.
I mean,
especially if it's free. Give me a brewery, I'm gang.
Come on.
Can't beat that bargain.
There is no better drink than free drink.
Isn't.
I will agree, though, Julie. I do like a good wine every now and then, too.
Oh, yeah.
But to get back to it, I think, even without that extra source of information, the fan base is still really hype and looking for anything that they can get. So what does come out is even more important. Like these giant set photos.
It's true. Yes, there is. I mean, there are some things I can't hide because of the giant set.
No.
There is a. You're right. It is good. There is a giant set, and I really want to emphasize how big this thing is. Being built.
We're talking 1/1 size here.
Oh, way bigger than 1/1. Like 1/1 could like
2 1/1s,
wouldn't even have to like duck to fit under the door frame of this thing.
This is true. Okay, let's go for like a 1/1.5.
There you go. The point is, it's huge. It's being built on the back lot near the Paint Hall Studios in the Titanic Quarter, which is where they do a lot of their shooting. We have some pictures of it. Okay. So this is, I mean, like, they've built outdoor structures before. Usually they build like a facade, you know? They'll build like, a wall, and then they'll fill in the rest. This is something else. This is 2 kind of parts of a large structure. And just look how, like, here's like a trailer, like a bus, like with supplies.
So there's
and that's a whole wall. And then then like worth 6 of those is on the other side.
Yeah.
Shit, that's so big.
They got the budget. Can you blame them?
They do. And there's a better shot here, kind of a little further out.
And again, with the trailers, the scale.
Yeah, with the trailer, I think maybe like a truck. It's not a Prius. It's a big vehicle.
Yeah.
So it's big. And you can see just the scale of this is
bonkers.
Bonkers. Almost over. Cheers to bonkers. It's just I can't remember them ever doing anything that big before.
No.
And it just makes you wonder, Cheryl, why are they building an enormous, again, two-part,
right?
That I think it's all one part of the same thing, but two-part massive set. What's this going to be used for? What is it?
I mean, I'm definitely in the it's for a battle scene. I'm definitely part of that.
By the way, Julie can smell the beer burps. Yuck.
We said it's good beer, Julie. Sorry.
It is. Sorry. We'll keep it down.
We're doing our best.
I don't drink a ton, so when I do, maybe it gets to me.
Doing what
Thanks,
I can.
Brewery Gang.
So I'm definitely in team it's for a battle scene. I mean,
it's got to be.
There is that trebuchet right around there too, and I mean
trebuchet near on the lot, which is, by the way, trebuchet is. I didn't. Yes, thank you. It's not catapult. It's not a giant bow and arrow. It's the kind of tower thing that has like a slingshot attached to it and goes boom. It is a siege weapon.
Yes, siege engine is.
Siege engine. That's much better. Yes.
It is. Yes. So it is a giant siege engine. So what my big question is are we going to see an extended siege, or are we actually going to see like a quick assault? And I'm not quite sure yet. I mean, I'm leaning towards maybe quick assault just because of the timing.
Quick assault, okay.
Yeah, quick assault or kind of quick takeover, kind of like what happened in Casterly Rock with season 7, where we kind of just saw the bits and pieces of it, and then, you know, all of a sudden there's Grey Worm on the, you know, on the walls.
I gotcha.
Or like with Highgarden, where we just see the brief fighting, and then, you know, Jaime Lannister stalks in to Olenna Tyrell's death scene, and we all kind of, you know, poured one out for Olenna.
Go on. My counter to that is both of those fights, like, they built a little bit, again, it's for the Casterly Rock siege, like, they built like a little wall, and then they had some ladders go up, and then they like kind of CGI'd the rest. They did not do this.
No.
They built enormous walls.
Yes.
And what I think is that there's going to be an action scene, because again, you don't need to build a huge set to just have people walk.
Right. There has to be something more.
You can put the camera at another angle so you don't see the giant wall.
Right.
You can just have one CGI thing. You can have like you can go to a real castle and film it and have them walk around there. You build something if you're going to damage it.
And use it extensively.
Use it extensively. And for something that you need to have it in the background for just tons of shots. And again, also to damage it. I mean, because
damage, yeah, especially with the trebuchet. Damage.
Trebuchet in place.
Right.
So I'm thinking it's the final season, you know, 6 episodes. They want to go out on a high note. I'm sure they will.
Naturally.
So they want something huge. I think we're in for a huge battle scene with this set.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Question is, where do you think it is?
Now there's a question. There's a really good question. Briefly, do you think it's going to be bigger than the Battle of the Bastards?
I mean, I think it's a complicated question.
That is a complicated question. That's why I'm asking you.
See, what I've liked about a lot of the battles on Game of Thrones is that, you know, they're all huge, they're all big. A lot of them are different, though, so a lot of them don't feel terribly repetitive.
That's true.
Like you had one, the first one was the Blackwater Bay Siege, and that was like a naval / siege thing of a city.
Right, with amazing pyrotechnics.
Right, and which had a lot of like kind of interpersonal stuff on the inside.
Exactly.
To this day, one of my favorite scenes is Cersei getting drunk and being mean to Sansa in the
More wine.
More wine. Speaking of, a little bit of this. And then you have, you know, the Battle of the Bastards, which is 2 armies on a field.
I'll take more too, please. Thank you.
Absolutely. And then you have something like Hardhome, which is zombie fight.
Exactly.
And then you have the Spoils of War, which is a dragon lighting up an army. They all feel different.
That's true.
So that's why I find it kind of hard to compare them. Like they've done a really good job of not repeating themselves, which is kind of hard because they have to like think of something new every year. They only have 1 year left though, so they can maybe their theme this year is huge.
Huge would be a good theme. Yes. I mean, if the episodes are supposed to be longer than normal,
exactly,
might as well go for it all the way.
Christian Hanna asks, is this news representing an attempt to fortify Winterfell against the coming siege? Big battle, but it will fall. Totally possible. Oh, Gary LaPatra with Siege the Day.
Siege the Day.
I love puns. Keep them coming. I really do. I have a weakness for them, especially when kind of tipsy.
Cheers to the good puns.
Siege the Day, Gary LaPatra. I will like that. Can I do that with my finger? I did. All right.
Yes. We're hip. We're with it.
I don't think it's Winterfell because they have a separate facade for Winterfell built at place called Moneyglass, Northern Ireland.
It is in Moneyglass, yes.
So I don't think it's that.
I don't lean towards it being Winterfell.
It's possible that they could just like build the facade elsewhere and then build a different wall. I doubt it.
It seems kind of overly complicated and difficult. Though it does have I'm a little bit, the beer is really good. It does.
I think it's helping the discussion.
Yes, it is. I think the only reason it could be Winterfell is that it would be a really easy way to obfuscate that there's going to be a really big battle scene at Winterfell.
That's a good point.
Yes, because, if someone builds a bunch of walls outside Winterfell, immediately fans are going to jump to the conclusion, there's going to be a big battle scene at Winterfell.
Oh, so you think maybe that they'll use the facade at Winterfell and use this, then cut them together, so it's all one big part of it?
That's definitely a possibility. I'm not going to dismiss that it's Winterfell just because it's not at Moneyglass.
I won't either. I do doubt it, but I won't dismiss it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's what I definitely think it is, but I'm saying that that's a possibility. I don't want to shoot the theorists down completely.
Bernadette says that animatronic dragons would be cool for a battle. Animatronic. Yeah, they can go practical after all this CGI crap they've been doing all this time.
Go full Salem and Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Wait, that was the cat, wasn't it?
That is the cat.
Okay. I've seen that show in a long time, sorry. I think it's more, I'm going to guess it's King's Landing, the Red Keep. I'm going to guess. Because, I don't know, it's an iconic location on the show.
It is.
It would be, if you're looking for what's a good ending to Game of Thrones, a giant battle and a siege of like the main city we all know and love/hate would be a good way to go.
Yes.
And you'd want to go all out and build the walls and such.
Of course. So, who's storming the castle then?
The White Walkers. Of course, it's got to be.
But then why is the trebuchet there?
Maybe it's their trebuchet. Or, you know what?
Would they use a trebuchet, though?
I mean, maybe it's humanity's trebuchet, trying to fire back. Or they have chains.
They do have chains.
People have been talking about that for, I say no good reason. I don't mind the damn chains. I don't know, some people are really upset about the chains.
I can support being upset about the chains, but at the same time, I mean, the visual just of pulling Viserion out.
There you go, yeah.
Just that, and the sound and all that, and then how it ends when he opens his eye, like, bam, like that's how you end a scene. That's how you end an episode.
I do have problems with that episode, but yeah, the eye thing was a great way to end it.
It was amazing.
Diane says it could be Storm's End with the Golden Company heading that way, which is another great idea.
Yes.
Storm's End is a castle we've like brushed up against a little bit, but we haven't really had like a full dig into it. The Baratheon castle in Storm's could totally be Storm's End.
It could.
It could be the Eyrie. We haven't been there in a while.
Ooh, it's been
doesn't really look like it though.
It doesn't really. No, the reddish makes me think it's not the Eyrie. Of course, that could be painted over.
Right. I mean, it's not finished here, so I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go too much by the color.
No.
It could be. It's too like spread wide.
Yeah, the Erie's more.
But again, I mean, special effects. You put it in whatever. Could be a properly castly rock. I like the idea of Storm's End, though. I like that a lot. That could actually be, that's a good idea. Diane, Carolyn Cole.
I support that.
I say either that or the Red Keep is my guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. I think that the Red Keep, especially with your point about how it could be like the end, the final big battle of the entire show, is storming the castle. I mean, and then you end with somebody sitting on the Iron Throne.
I have my little private tinfoil is that.
Do tell.
It's never going to happen. I think it'd be fun if like the White Walkers take over the city, right?
Right.
And they kill everyone in it, and they like install themselves in King's Landing, and then they light the fire. That's all the fire that's under the city, back from when King Aerys did it, and they blow them all up.
Nice.
And so the city is destroyed, the White Walkers are destroyed. What a fun ending.
That would be amazing. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Why not? I would love that.
I mean, just because fire seems like a bad idea for the White Walkers to get involved with in general.
Well, yeah, but it's bad for them.
Yes, well, bad for them. But
we don't like them.
That's true. We don't like them, even when they are on on the label of the beer.
You're going down. All right. Any other thoughts on that set or anything else involving season 8 production and what's coming?
No, not yet. I mean, I am still a little curious about why Emilia Clarke dyed her hair finally. that keeps bothering me.
Why?
And I'm not sure why. I'm really not sure why. I think it might just be, the wigs have been pretty decent. Pretty decent.
For her, Kayla didn't know it was a wig for a long time.
Exactly. See? So I'm just a little
Sansa's
curious.
wig, that I noticed.
Yes, and Cersei's have not always been stellar either.
I guess like with Cersei, like I gotten so used to her as a blonde, I never really questioned it. But maybe if I looked closely, I would.
Right. I don't know what it is about. Especially in season 7, because they did her wig a little longer in the back. It seemed a little strange and kind of mid-weight, not a perfect look for her. And that's something that's really something we're not used to seeing with Cersei.
Sure.
She's always put together.
Yeah.
She's always got the fabulous looks. And so, especially in season 7, where she's got all these great black looks.
The black ensembles. Yeah.
Obviously, I can support that.
In mourning.
For the hair to not be on point as well is a little off, I guess, would be my criticism. So that keeps bothering me, is Emilia Clarke not dyeing her hair. So
I think it was symbolic.
It could be symbolic.
I don't know. She's also, maybe, the kind of worst case scenario fan theory is her hair gets cut short. And you just go with that for some reason. Like she goes her own shame walk or something.
Yeah.
Which would be intense.
That would be intense.
But also it just, even though she's worn wigs, it helps to have your root, to have
right.
the hairline the same color as the wig.
Exactly.
So it blends
helps
better.
With blending. Exactly. So that just keeps bopping around in my head.
Or maybe it's the last season, I'm going to commit fully to this.
Right.
Yeah. What other better excuse will I have? I'll go for it.
Really isn't a better one, I don't think.
No. Wait, let me read the comments really quick because we have some new ones. Oh, Julie, it could be Griffin's Roost. Just kidding. Haha. Griffin's Roost from the books. Not a huge area. I doubt it.
Yeah, no.
I doubt it too, Julie. We're not going to Griffin's Roost.
No.
Well, Rob Skinner thinks it could be one of the castles in the north before Winterfell, like where the Karstarks are. Which is true.
Bear Island.
Well, that's an island. They can't swim.
They can't swim. That's true.
We've definitely established that. They all stood around that damn frozen lake thing.
They do. I just want more Lyanna Mormont. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I miss her. Again, it could be like the Karstark castle. Like it's called Karhold.
I do believe you're right.
It's so big. I feel like they would only build it that big. It's going to be major, and I don't see a major set piece at Karhold. I just can't. It's not big enough.
Yeah, the Karstarks became vaguely relevant again, but even so, to put that much effort into, excuse me, into just Karhold seems like a not.
See, now Gary gets me. He's picturing King's Landing up in green flame, blowing up, while the Hound and the Mountain battle to the death outside the gates. All
King's Landing burns
over
as we get the Clegane.
All over that.
I could support it.
Let's cheers to that. Clegane Bowl while King's Landing burns in green flame. All right. I think we're good on the discussion.
Yes.
Well, as we get a little tipsier and wind this down, let's look at some of the remarkable, because of course Halloween just happened yesterday.
Yes.
And Game of Thrones is a popular show and it has lots of great costumes we were just talking about. So obviously people were wanting to dress up. And
can you blame them?
We have a great costume rundown on Wik about all the Game of Thrones costumes, some of the best ones around the net. There were some terrific ones. There always are.
There always are.
But as the show gets to a fever pitch, it gets higher and higher. So I got 3 I wanted to highlight. We got this lovely Halloween fan who is fashioned, a dragon, what do you call it, harness?
Yeah, harness.
And then very clever, like the legs there and then her real legs below. Very smart. I love it.
I am going to take some more beer, though.
You do that. Now what we can say about this. Good Halloweening to this person. I love this one,
Looks very well
too.
constructed.
Yes. I loved this one. It was Olenna Tyrell and a guy dressed as Jaime's severed hand. Going together.
I kind of love the use of sunglasses for Olenna Tyrell.
That became a little meme thing. Are you a Halloween costume person?
I am not a huge Halloween costume person.
Oh, yeah, you weren't. Yeah, you didn't want to dress up. I didn't either.
I did my very best to dress up as a modern day Sith lady.
You did. It was very effective.
It did. I have a very nice Darth Vader cardigan. So you could say I took the black.
It's another sort of fun. I love it.
I do what I can, Dan.
Siege the day.
But yeah, I love the addition of the deal with it sunglasses to the Olenna Tyrell.
Yeah. Fun way to go out for her. Just a good exit for that character.
I could wax poetic about that scene. Diana Rigg.
I mean, it's hard to I don't know. I feel like the show, as it winds down, it's getting a little looser at the seams, so it's good to see that somebody got out with all their dignity intact.
Yes. And especially because, you know, she had such great lines.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what a great, discussion toward the end.
Tell Cersei, I want her to know it was me.
So cheers to that, too.
We miss you every day, Olenna.
This is off topic, but it's like, The Walking Dead is another big show that's often compared to Game of Thrones.
Yes.
And I feel like, not to bash The Walking Dead, because we have fans here too, but I feel like the ratings are dropping, and
they are.
The critical community is kind of turning against it.
It is.
And it's looking more and more like Game of Thrones' decision to leave when it's on a high is the right one.
You know, I like that Game of Thrones is willing to kind of call it quits.
Yes, I like that too.
Instead of just prolonging it even more. Because they could. They could do a huge season that is literally just Cersei and Daenerys fighting it all out. And then maybe expanding it into a 9th season.
I mean, there are things from the books that would have taken up easily another season, like Wynton Martell and more stuff in Dorne and stuff on the Iron Islands. They could have done it.
The Conningtons.
The John Connington and young Griff. They could have done it.
They could have.
They chose to kind of smooth it out. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. Cory Smith, a writer on Winter is Coming, says this season has been terrible. Cory Smith, you write for me. Is this a joke? Okay.
I mean, I have my criticisms of season 7. Don't get me wrong. But even the willingness to just say it has to end instead of making
he might have meant The Walking Dead, though, now that I think about it.
That's true. I've heard a lot about how bad The Walking Dead is this season. I don't watch anymore. I quit a long time ago. But I've heard a lot, and we cover it on Cultures, and I've read the recaps and reviews. And
we shouldn't talk in turn, because I mean, I saw the premiere. I didn't see the second episode yet. I will, because I try to keep up with it. But it's just, it's looking like a better decision to leave when the leaving's good.
Subtle.
The final costume was this is
again.
A reader sent this in.
Finally got his chicken.
He did. I mean, that is a good Hound costume.
That is
that guy looks like, except for the fact that he's smiling, that guy looks like the Hound.
Yeah.
And then he dressed up his son as the pup.
Baby Hound.
With another burn scar on his face. How adorable is that?
My heart. He finally got his chicken, though.
He did. If any of you guys wore Halloween costumes for Game of Thrones, or if anything, why not? Send us a message through Facebook or on Twitter. We'd love to see it. We can share it. Mm-hmm. Julie says, we don't really do Halloween to extremes down here, and she prefers Taboo. New Taboo. You ever watch that show?
No, actually. That's the one with Tom Hardy on FX.
Yes.
No, I have not.
I hear it's very good, Julie. I have not seen it, but I do hear it's very good.
Speaking of historical dramas, Kit Harington and Gunpowder.
Yeah, it's coming to HBO now.
Yeah, I know.
That's good. That should be fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. I also hear that's great.
I'm just pro Kit Harington.
I also love that there was a controversy about how violent it was, and I'm like, Kit Harington, Game of Thrones rubbed off on you.
Yeah, I mean, it aired on the BBC, so that might be the problem, but...
Sure. Oh dear me.
Oh dear me.
Sorry, I'm making fun of people now.
You are a little bit, but it's okay.
Sorry.
I'm sure they make fun of our accents all the time.
Exactly.
So I'm very excited to see Gunpowder. I've been dubbing it Kit Harington's Sexy History. And everything I've seen seems to suggest that that's the correct way to interpret it. And I'm very excited to watch it.
I wonder if Game of Thrones, stuff like that, will or it hasn't already, make a heightened interest in historical fiction or historical shows that are dramatic and sexy like that.
I mean, in a sense, the historical period drama has kind of...
There you go.
Yeah. Has never really... I'm still sober enough to think of that. Has definitely seen kind of a renaissance, even with shows like Downton Abbey.
Oh, totally.
That ended recently, and then there's Poldark, Upstairs, Downstairs in Britain, and now Gunpowder. So I think maybe what Game of Thrones has ushered in more is kind of the re-embracing of kind of genre television. Since Game of Thrones came out, we've gotten Stranger Things, we've gotten Westworld,
the new Star Trek,
lots
of failed stuff too. Bashed Executioner. There's that one of Kings and Prophets, which was like a biblical Game of Thrones show.
And did not last very long.
It's definitely had an effect.
Deep cut right there, and I appreciate it.
I recall it because it was such a terrible idea when I was looking at it.
So I think that is more...
Last Kingdom on Netflix is a really good show.
What else is there? Vikings on History.
Sure, Vikings.
So I think that is kind of where Game of Thrones is making its impact most felt. Is more in the, it's okay to do kind of this prestige show, but also incorporate what we would call genre TV.
Right.
I mean, and it's worked well. Game of Thrones has so many Emmys that it could probably melt them down and make a new Iron Throne out of them.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
All right, Outlander, Julie Davis points out. Yeah,
Outlander is another good example. Again, an adaptation of really heavy books.
That might be like the most successful Game of Thrones inspired show. Would you say maybe Outlander?
I would say
it's got to be up there.
It definitely has to be up there. I would say that Outlander maybe is more successful with a slightly different audience.
Sure.
Claire and Jamie, the strongest ship that ever did sail. But I think that definitely Outlander doesn't get made without Game of Thrones because...
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I want to clarify, when I say influenced by, I don't mean like they wrote the story because Game of Thrones thought like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if this? I mean like the kind of things they're green lighting are influenced by the success of Game of Thrones.
Because I've read the first Outlander book and it is quite thick. And Diana, I'm going to say this wrong. Gabaldon? Sorry in advance. Diana G. Writes these incredibly thick, very detailed books. This is not a knock on her. It's just, I think pre-Game of Thrones, stars would have looked at it and said, we can't adapt this down.
Right, exactly.
And Game of Thrones proved that you can adapt a very complex story. I mean, Outlander isn't quite as sprawling as Thrones is, in the sense that it has so many characters that need really well cast actors. The cast is a little more, excuse me,
good times.
a little more condensed, I would say.
Right.
Just having read the first book, so Outlander fans, please forgive me. So I think it's more in the sense that you can take these huge books and boil them down. And I think, there was such a good American Gods adaptation too, and American Gods is huge. So I think what Game of Thrones is doing is kind of embracing the genre and also showing that like literary adaptations don't have to be quite so condensed down to movies. It is viable to do them on TV and do them justice.
I agree completely.
Yeah. And there is a big argument about whether or not A Song of Ice and Fire has been done justice by Game of Thrones. But let's not get into that. I think
these are topics we can do like whole shows about. So I feel like we should kind of wrap it up.
We could.
It's been a lot of fun though. I'm so glad you came on.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.
And thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back next Wednesday. Josh Hill will be back for more A Song of Dan and Josh. We discuss A Song of Ice and Fire chapter by chapter. Kayla will be back for more talk. And I hope we can have you on again because this is a lot of fun.
I would love to be back.
Beer might be back. We'll see about that. And we'll see you next Wednesday at 4 p.m. here on WIC Live on the Winterfell Facebook page. Valor Moguls, everybody.
Valor Dohires.